Moving ahead towards our last panel discussion themed as Next Gen Data Center, IoT, AI, ML, 5G, and virtualization. It gives me immense joy to introduce our eminent panelists for the discussion. First up, we have Ms. Thuraya Al-Harthi. She is the Senior Specialist, Innovation and Emerging Technology at Ministry of Technology and Communication, Oman. Then we have our second eminent panelist, Mr. Kamran Ahmed. He is Vice President, Data Quality at the Saudi National Bank, also known as SNB. Our third eminent panelist is Mr. Hesham Saad Al-Ghamdi. He is the Group Chief Data and Analytics Officer at Abdul Latif Jameel. Lastly, we have our eminent panel moderator, Mr. Kushal Varshney, who is the CTO at Virescent Infrastructure. All the very best to the eminent panelists, and over to you, Kushal, to moderate your panel.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. And I welcome you all the esteemed panelists. Hi, hope you all are doing good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kushal.
Okay. So as Bridget has already introduced, hi Thuraya, hi Kamran, hi Hesham. So as Bridget has already introduced all of us, so I think we can straightforward start this session. Okay. So I'll ask, so I think first question goes to Thuraya in terms of if you see amid rapid technological changes, what is the role of Omani government concerning adopting to the emerging technologies? So, Thuraya, would you like to share your views on this, please?
Yes, hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for hosting me to be part of this discussion panel. And let me take you throughout the digital journey here in Oman. So basically, 7 years ago, we started this project when we got the direction from His Majesty to accelerate the implementation of digital transformation in Oman. So the direction for the government to simplifying process, to adopt the emerging technologies, to encourage their employees to use such of advancements technologies within their systems, and etc. So basically, at that time, what I can say, like Oman 2030 strategy has been developed, which is basically like a foundation that will benefit everyone from it when it comes to 4IR. And at that time as well, the E-Oman digital transformation program was launched in order to convert Oman to E-Oman. And in parallel, we worked very hard in different domains. So basically, the first domain we worked on it, which is the building capacity. So basically, when it comes to building capacity, we conducted many awareness sessions to the officials, to the government employees, to introduce for them the concept of emerging technologies also, and how the emerging technologies can reshaping our lives. And basically, what I can say, we faced many resistance from the government entities because they didn't believe in the technology itself. So that's why it comes to another domain, which is we worked on a change management approach. We worked very hard to change the mindset of the people in order to accept the idea of emerging technology as adoptions within the government entities. The second domain, which is the citizens engagement. So basically, citizens engagement, we worked very hard in engaging citizens by conducting many hackathons to encourage the youth to come up with innovative solutions, mobile applications, and how they can utilize the emerging technologies in government. And also one of the competition, we call it Oman government open data, which is basically we encourage the government to open their data, and we encourage the developers to utilize this data and come up with innovative solutions that will help the government to accelerate the execution of digital transformation here in Oman. Another thing, which is I'm very proud that we launched the Smart City Ambassadors. So basically here, we have more than 300 ambassadors from all Oman, and we conducted 50 workshops in different domains, in AI, in machine learning, in robotics, and blockchain, and everything, anything related to emerging technologies. We focus on this areas. We're spreading the knowledge to all Omani society to understand the concept itself of emerging technologies. Also, the last domain I can talk about, which is the excellence of AI and machine learning. So when it comes to facts, so basically statistics show that the contribution in AI in the world economy is expected to reach up 15.7 trillion US dollar. So because of that, because there is an opportunity, what happened, we launched an AI and advanced technology in Oman. It's a program that we are focusing to prepare Oman to the future for any emerging technology it will happen. Also, we're planning to conduct many awareness, many training program for the youth when it comes to emerging technology. So we'll be able to let's say to design and develop any applications related to the AI and AL. And what else, which is I'm very proud of it, which is we created a centralized project we called Manshood. And basically Manshood is a chatbot based on AI methods. And Manshood is a centralized chatbot for all government. And we use the Omani accent, so it will be very easy for everyone to understand what to interact with the chatbot. You can give the inquiries very easily. You can get the answer very quickly when it comes to services, the government application, to the location itself of the government entities. And finally, what I can say when it comes to that Oman do a great job when it comes to smart government and adopting emerging technologies. But what we need to do, we have to work very hard, and we have to move very fast to keep up with the rapid technological changes happen in the world.
No, thanks a lot, Thuraya, for sharing your thoughts. And really, it is very helpful, and it is very insightful to know, like, okay, Omani government is doing so much, and there is a push which is coming from the top. When we say any change management we are driving, so we always look forward to the top management. And in your case, it is coming from the top in the country, so which is very helpful. I think you are on right path for Oman with awareness and other skill set, mindset change kind of initiatives. So this is very, very helpful. I think this is good. So moving on, Mr. Hesham, I would like to ask you, what are the top trends today in the data center technologies?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good day, everyone, and a pleasure to be here today with our respected guest esteems and audience. The top trends today we could see in data centers are really focused on, let's say, the pandemic and post-pandemic. These are heavily pressuring data centers to transform. Now, we could see the use of specific technologies such as AI and automation. These are one of the, I think, top involved in data centers that helped a lot in optimizing the cost. If you look at the use of predictive analytics and artificial intelligence in the cooling of the data center, some companies achieved a rate of about 40% reducing of heat, and that actually returns into somehow from 10 to 15% cost saving. And this is something for a data center will be really huge in terms of a cost saving. If you look at today, the virtual working, remote working from home, this has been extremely validated by, I mean, this is by force, by people had to do lockdowns, work from home, and this actually created a lot of need for what we call the hybrid cloud. Some companies were hesitant to embrace the hybrid cloud. Today, it's like by force. It's not something you have a choice to. Either you have it, or then you'll not be able to serve your employees or customers, being located in different, sometimes regions and different locations. Today, with the travel changes and ban, you have employees all over the place. So the hybrid cloud is something I would say one of the important ingredients of transformation of data centers. The use of RPAs, automating, again, with the case of having workforce unable to be responding to needs because they are not able to go to office. So you think about automation of these processes in the data centers. The use of robotic process automation actually could help you be more efficient and less reliant on human intervention for activities that can be easily automated. I think these are top trends, and there are many of them, but I think it's important to balance your request, maybe highlighting edge computing. This is something of an important today, and it's already there, talking about 5G, Internet of Things, AI. These are trends actually impacting your modernization of data centers. And the data centers today, it's not about a central location. It's about really being able to serve, move your data, secure your data any place at any time. Thank you.
No, valid point, Mr. Hesham. I think we all say whether there is a digital transformation which was led by CIO or some leadership position, or it was pandemic led. So I think there is a good amount of transformation which is happening globally led by pandemic, which is not yet over. We are seeing new surprises. Now Omicron version is there in place. So hope it should end soon and we can talk about the post-COVID, what is going to happen. And definitely now it's the new normal way of working, which is work from anywhere. You can be in any part of the country, not just work from home. So definitely. With this, moving on, Mr. Kamran, I would like to ask you, what type of improvement are you observing in modern data centers by implementing ML and RPA?
Thank you very much for everybody giving me a chance to speak here. Most of I observed this seminar for last 2-3 sessions. So I observed that many of the speakers already spoke about it, like Hesham just spoke about the cooling system. And definitely this is basically achieved. The improvement is basically what we are facing as a challenge right now. One of the big, I just highlighted the first 5 challenges is basically the availability and uptime of the data center availability, utilization capacity, cooling system, and reducing the cost. And the 4th one is basically the energy saving and the cost saving. And the 5th is basically the staff productivity. I must say the data center is a service where basically people are working day and night, and they are thankless area. Many people doesn't know about it. They just know, okay, they need the information and everything, but they don't know how hard the people are working. And most of the time I observe that the data center people are working day, night in their personal time even. So with the new technology, there are some threats and there are some opportunities. The threats are many people are threat because of their jobs, which is right. But every time when the new technology comes in, this is a normal pace that the few jobs are under threat and few new opportunities are open. So it's basically skill set normally shift. Second thing is this, the productivity. Productivity definitely will improve in because of machine learning and RPA combination. For example, the RPA when we are talking about, so it's basically the soft robotics area where we are performing the repeated tasks where there is no intelligence very much required and we are implementing. This is one of the tasks. Another huge challenge is basically the shifting the mind, which basically Thuraya told. When I was, I'm working in IT for since beginning, I think in 1993 or something. I found that the biggest challenge whenever the new technology comes in to make people agree this is a change, and let them know, okay, this is not the threat, this is basically something opportunity, and it takes actually the time. Technology itself evolves very quickly now, rapidly, but shifting the mind is the biggest challenge, in my opinion, because we face a passive resistance. And the problem is those people who are creating the passive resistance, they are in power. So you cannot basically challenge them easily, and you have to work even under the radar and bring the changes. So availability, let me talk about some challenges, like for example, availability and uptime. See, in the previous presentation, I was hearing exactly what I was about to say, that, okay, the machine learning basically giving you the prevention, and also as well as the understand the loggings area. For example, if something penetrating in the network, the machine learning very quickly understand, okay, what is happening. One way. Second way is basically if the machine learning keep reading the logs and giving you the information. And this is normally not happen in data center, because terabytes of logs are generated and we see only when if needed. Similarly, we don't know how much capacity we are utilizing. Even the manual cases, if it is a machine learning and robotic process integrated together, so we can understand, okay, how much machines we are using and how we can optimize them and how to reduce the extra burden on the machines and all of those things. Definitely, when we are deploying the machines, one of the cost is the licensing, but also it will work 24/7. So that helps a lot to improve the services and also decrease the expenses. And definitely, when we are optimizing the machine utilization, it will definitely reduce the energy cost. That this is the fifth challenge. And those people who are working on the machines, continuously monitoring them, definitely they are not basically, they are having a liberty of utilizing the RP and machine learning. In my humble opinion, right now we are in a very initial stage of machine learning and AI, though the lots of available in the market, but adoption is not as fast as we are expecting. So it's basically a transition time. So the way I'm taking the machine learning and RPA for the work is basically the assistant who's not willing to go on vacation and they don't want to take off. So just deploy as an assistant, as RPA and machine learning, and utilize the resources accordingly. Thank you.
No, very valid point, and I love the word threat versus opportunity. So whether you treat something as your threat or you took it as an opportunity and you maybe upskill yourself or your people and you grab it. And we all have seen like how earlier the trend was Fortune 500 companies, what kind of companies were there in the list, and now it's primarily the tech companies, tech giants who are leading. So I think that has already disrupted industry a lot and have changed mindset, and further it is being changed by pandemic also. Like if you ask 2 years back, our CEOs, I want to do work from home for 7-8 months, or let's do one thing other than manufacturing. Everyone else can work from home. So he will say, no, not possible at all. But pandemic has proved it is possible.
It's basically a paradigm shift.
Yeah, it's a paradigm shift. And definitely things are not changing as expected or at the pace at which it is required. Although now enough things like we have so many mobile apps, smartphones, everything is available. So people are forcibly, like indirect way, some push is happening. Although now fifth industrial revolution is started, 5G around the corner, edge computing and other things. So I think lots of innovation is yet to happen, including ML, AI. Now blockchain is also there. So definitely future is going to be, I think there is going to be very, very rapid changes very soon in a new future. So definitely. So it will be good to hear your views, Kamran.
Can I add something? Sorry for interrupting. Yeah, actually, thank you, Hesham. Thank you. What's her name? I can't remember. Sorry. Very insightful information, and I totally agree with what did you say, because actually the pandemic, it's like it's opened our eyes. If we didn't, if after the pandemic, if we didn't change now to digitalization, we will not change ever, because the pandemic give us like we really understand the importance now of digital transformation and how we can adopt the emerging technologies. So that's why even when now we are talking to the government, it's very easy when comparing
pre-pandemic.
Because before they said why we need to adopt emerging technologies, and now they realize the importance of it. And I'm very proud, because when I see my mother, she's 70 years, and she's using Zoom to attend her classes, which is, I can see how the digital, everyone changed everyone's life, child till the old people.
Yeah, definitely it has changed, Soraya, but there is a one, if I say from a counter view perspective, still there are people who want to go back to the old ways of working, old days, although that percentage is very less. And some people are there, but hopefully we don't forget the learning from the pandemic. That is very critical. With this, moving on, my next question is for Mr. Hesham. Hesham is for like, what are the opportunities and challenges which we are data centers are facing post COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very good question. The opportunities is you need to respond to the pandemic needs. Okay, this is like an emergency flight situation. You have to land. So opportunities, you have to think about the bandwidth. You have to think about security. You have to think about enablement. I mean, when this started, big organizations faced a lot of challenges in the first maybe a couple of weeks of lockdown. Some could not be able to really do basic things. So that's the kind of thing, is how can you be very responsive to the needs? And today we're talking about the new normal. It could be new normal 1.0. So this will be evolving and changing continuously. You have to think about how can we be more customer focused for our employees and our customers. How can we really listen to the top demands that they are having? I mean, we mentioned, all of us here, in a very good way, good technologies like AI, RPAs, cost efficiency, edge computing. All of this is required. So you need to look into these opportunities today. Look into prioritization. Every one of these is a big project by itself. It's not something, as probably Kamran highlighted, it's not something you could finish overnight. It's a big program. It's an evolving program. It's a journey. It's going to take time for you to accomplish any of these trends. But be ready, be responsive. Categorize your needs into, as we call in IT usually, run, lights on, something important, and then grow. These are the things that you have to focus on, evolving the data centers, and then transform. These are the big changes like decentralizing, co-location, all these things. The challenges, of course, you're still gonna face with any new technology. You're gonna have to have workforce, manpower, people to hire. With the changes of these technologies, introducing a lot of technologies and changes, you have to be smart about how you're gonna get things done. Okay, you're not gonna be finding people available easily. You have to do contracting. You have to do co-sourcing. You have to offer these programs by, let's say, partnering with the vendors, the solutions. It's not going to be easy for you to meet the demands of people. So the sourcing, you have to be smart. How you're going to enable the growth, the challenges, the changes. You have to be smart in the sourcing of the data centers. Thank you.
Definitely, Hesham, very valid point. And I think pandemic has also taught us one thing, which is very critical, is we all used to have DR, DC or DR drill, those kind of plans used to be there. Now we need to have an emergency plan to take care of situation like pandemic. I don't think anyone was prepared. There definitely means, if I talk about my organization, so with a visionary setup, we announced much before it was announced globally or even in India. At least 2 to 3 weeks before we announced we are going to work from home, and we were ready from day one. So, but I think if for that, organization has to be digital first approach they have to work with, and we need to have reliable partners. That is very critical, because if people are not available, then who is going to support you? And in pandemic, it has happened that most at time there are many team members were sick all of a sudden, and then it's very difficult to manage the show. So definitely we need good people. And another critical factor what I feel pandemic has impacted all of us is empathy. Less human interaction, more on in front of laptop screen. So I think empathy, human interaction, whatever side effects are there, that has to be taken care. So that is very critical.
Just a small intervention. We did a big survey in the company, and it's like 10 questions, including challenges, technology, and we put something interesting. We put like social isolation. So it came to be number one, and number one by 30% of all the things that have been chosen of the top 10, and the other, the gap is like 30%. So yes,
employee, yeah. Employee well-being is important.
Yeah, working with people is always a blessing, and it adds a lot of energy directly connecting with them. Virtually is a mandate, we have to do it, but we still have to really think about socially how we still are able to be, hopefully, yani, you're looking into a hybrid model today, how you can be virtual available and with safety, and in the offices, how you can have meetings in the office as well.
Yeah, I think hybrid is the future because you have more me time, more family time. You are spending less time traveling, but maybe once a week or once 1 week in a month, maybe whatever. It depends on organization policies. You can spend time in office also, so that you have more human interaction. Also, that is important. I think hybrid is the way forward, and it will stay. With this, I'll move on to Mr. Kamran. So, Mr. Kamran, I would like to know your views on use cases where ML improves the DC.
We already spoke about few cases. For example, the cooling system, the space system. A few more cases we can discuss, like the reduce the basically the risk in operation, where basically we can create the machine learning in a way that we can preventing the downtime by just reading the log systems, and improve the real-time performance of the machines. And it's not only the data, is also the process is also there in DC. I say many of the things are available in DC, so the prevention is better than its damage or the down. So this is one of the things, and it increased basically the resilience in the availability of the machines, which basically give you the optimized solutions and response time. The another case is basically the log management, which I spoke about a little bit. Normally what happened, whenever any hacking happen or the abnormally start happening, the systems start creating the logs, but these logs normally nobody reads, nobody understands, because logs are very tedious to understand. So if we deploy basically the machine learning algorithms and AI top of that to create the suggestions, for example, the Elasticsearch, they are doing a very great work in the log management and all of those things. And I'm pretty sure that because of that, we are basically able to mitigate, not eliminate, but mitigate the abnormality in the systems and networks and data area, where basically the many hackers or the system glitches we can recover, understand as a prevention. The interesting thing happening basically right now with HP, they are using basically the info insight. Whenever something happens, incident happens, so we have to perform the root cause analysis and perform the corrective action accordingly. So Hewlett Packard is basically deploy the InfoSight product, and these basically the information they are collecting with the multiple variables, and on the real time they are basically improving the performance and fixing the root cause issues. These are the few things basically they are doing right now globally, and I'm sure with the incorporation of the RPA along with the IA, intelligent automation, it means incorporate the machine learning and AI, it will improve a lot. These are the few cases we have in front of us. I just want to second the Hesham, one of the point. Basically, when we were in the pandemic, what we observed, basically the psychology of our work and everything. See, it's not the home from work. It basically the kids also staying at all the time at home. And when we saw them after 1.5 years, they become very dull. They were initially they were very active, and they were very, sometimes they are doing the naughty things and all of those stuff. They become dull. And similarly, the same impact we receive, because human needs human. Technology is good. All I am saying, because of the law of diminution method, after a certain time, we don't need the technology. For example, if somebody needs hugs, it needs hug. Technology cannot replace it. If somebody wants to talk face to face, it requires the face to face. So this is basically the damage we receive during the pandemic. And the good thing, we see the paradigm shift among the great CEOs and CFOs, where all the time they want to see their team in the office. They are watching the macro manager. Okay, you are coming in 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Your things are not been done. Why you are going early? So why you are casual? So all of those things as a paradigm shift already over. So they know that, okay, the job can be done. So we have to be subjective. Rather, we are just focusing on the timing or the dresses. So this is a great change, I must say. But as a law of domination rules, we have to also understand where we have not to use the technology.
No, agreed, Kamran. I think this is very critical, and you very well pointed this out, because ultimately what matters is work. Like if task is done, it doesn't matter where you're coming at 9, 10 or whatever time it is. It has to be done in a timely manner. Although still there are people who are focusing on employee productivity tools and monitor them at home what they are doing. That it depends on company to company, and there are notorious people also who are misusing being working from home. So there are both sides of the coin, but I think we need to find the optimum balance regarding that.
Exactly.
And very valid point, like human touch is very important. If I talk about particularly kids, like they need to play, and playing has to be physical. If it is virtual, if it is video games or watching TV or some web series, it is not good for health. So from physical fitness perspective, and for us also, ultimately we humans, we have feelings. Hopefully we'll have some robots or those things in future in some time, but they'll have human feelings and those things. But yeah, for now that touch is required. So definitely I agree with you.
It's required.
Yeah, that is critical. And I think you very well covered the point regarding how preventive maintenance can help in terms of data center part. Like be it you can have sensors which can touch base temperature or vibration of a drive or disk or equipment, and we can take preventive measure in terms of a longer downtime, right? It can be planned shorter downtime and we can replace it. So we can save huge time, money, and everything. So that will be good. And I think future we will be talking about self-healing also. So there are things which can be self-healed. So in case of databases and other things. So I think that is going to come. Thank you. With this, I'll move on to Thuraya. So I would like to ask you, how can organizations be agile in keeping up with disruptive technologies?
First, I would like to thank Kamran. I love your very interesting. What did you say about working from home? When this approach working from home started in Oman, actually our managers every time 7:30 they call us like, "Are you wake up?" Or still, let's wake up and let's do the task. I said, okay, it's working from home. I can work it at any time. Why I have to 7:30 have to wake up? So that's why we need to change management. So coming to the question, how we can prepare, how the organization can prepare for the future. So basically, first of all, they have to invest in digital transformation, because the future is digital. And organization, they should adopt digital experience that support the modern web, the native applications, let's say the intelligent chatbots, conversational app. Also another thing, like the organization, they have to establish a flexible infrastructure. So in the future, it will be very easy to integrate with any new technologies happened. Another thing also, which is creating a strong building capacity, and also set up, we didn't mention this point because I think it's important about the policies and regulations. We have to set up the regulations and the policies that will help us to organize the work. The governance as well is very important, the data governance, because at AI, it's feeding from the data itself. So that's why that we have to take care more about the data governance. The governments, they have to open their data to be transparent when it comes to data itself. And there is a lot of statistics when it comes to data, like in the future, the projection for 2025, for example, it will be increasing global data volume by 530%, which shows the importance of data itself. Another thing, which is about we have to spend in the youth. We have to bring, we have to create, we have to prepare strong capabilities for the future. We have to train them. We have to let them know, for example, we have also to teach them like how to create the algorithm itself, in order to understand how the machine learning it works. And also I can, in fact, according to the World Economic Forum, the future of jobs, it's around 54% of employees of companies, they need to learn new skills when it comes to emerging technologies. Another point which is related to the ethics, we have to establish ethics when it comes to emerging technologies, for example, especially when it comes to AI, because it's using the data itself. And I'm very happy because maybe 6 days ago, the UNESCO they launched the first global agreements on the ethics of the AI. So basically, to conclude, the government, I think it's our responsibility. We as a government, as a public sector, even we as a citizens, we have to work together, to collaborate together, to come up with, to speed up the transformation very fast.
Yeah, thank you, Thuraya. And I agree. I think change is the only constant thing, and for survival, this is must. I don't think this is a choice for anyone. And definitely in the new normal, the way we are digitally surrounded, we have Alexa, we have Google Mini, our phones are getting smarter. The way things are changing rapidly, for that kind of scale, definitely we need hybrid, or we need cloud, and then definitely we need ML, AI, those kind of things to support us with evaluating thousands of logs or our data part, and increase our time to market speed, like how soon we can come to market with any new product or services, or we can scale up, right? So for those kind of things, for the agility and resilience, these things are very critical. I don't think it's a choice, and I think everyone must have realized. Tech people, I think for sure they have realized, but I think non-tech people also, I think we discussed around that also. So they must have realized during pandemic, and with this insightful session, hopefully they must have definitely learned a lot. With this, I'll hand it over to Bridget. Once again, thank you all. Thanks, Thuraya. Thanks, Kamran, and thanks, Hesham, for the insightful session.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All the best.
Thank you, Bridget. I'm handing over to you.
Well, thanks to all the dignitaries, Thuraya, Kushal, Hesham, and Kamran, for joining us and sharing your knowledge today, and making the discussion so interactive, talking about the open data policy, log data management, and so much more. Your presence and knowledge sharing has added a tremendous amount of value to the last day of the BCC Summit today. Have a nice day ahead, all of you. Thanks again.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.